Hey guys, it's Wences. Luckily for me, I found better lighting this time around. Okay, this is to continue my list. For this video, I'm going to be reviewing 30 to 21 on my way to my number one song of 2013. So let's get on with it. Number 30. 2013 was a very interesting year for hip-hop, to say the least. You know what, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Hip-hop sucked in 2013, with very few standouts on the actual radio. You hit your all-time low with party anthems. There's really not much to say when it comes to hip-hop. There were so many artists who were coming out with new material that was completely failing at what their actual potential was. I'm looking at you, B.O.B. Because, quite frankly, and this is not just talking mid to late 2013, this is even leaking towards 2014 now. B.O.B., Childish Gambino, people who have actually come out with intelligent rap, and yet when they actually come out with a follow-up, it really seems like they put no effort to it whatsoever. However, in late 2013, there was someone who finally came back, dropped an album which is quite frankly his best in God knows how long. And as I mentioned earlier with Ollie Murs, even though it's a completely different case, the fact that this song even made the Hot 100 year-end list is completely out of luck. And I'm not saying it to be bad, I'm just saying the fact that they actually pushed it is, to me, a miracle. So at number 30, it's Berserk from Eminem. Now, I've listened to the complete Marshall Mathers LP too, and quite frankly, in my opinion, it is the best album he has released. It's from front to back, with the exception of one or two songs. This album is one of the few hip-hop albums that I've been able to listen to from front to back. And the fact that he acknowledges the past, the fact that he basically acknowledges the fact that him being Slim Shady, being this alter ego, has basically brought down what he himself as an artist was supposed to be. And if, as soon as you're done watching this video, I would highly suggest either checking out the album, or at the very least, checking out some of his other songs on there. Love Game with Kendrick Lamar is such a dark song, and it's so beautiful. Rap God is, to me, Eminem in his rarest form, especially within the third verse. And for the love of God, I am going on to record here. His last single, Monster with Rihanna, is not I Love the Way You Lie Part 2. It's two different subjects, and even though it's still rap, sing, it does not mean that it's the same. It's not a sequel. That's like saying one chick flick is the same as another chick flick. It may have the same formula, but the plots are nowhere near the same. Actually, to me, Monster is more of an emotional song than Love the Way You Lie. And that's really all I have to say on the subject. As for the song itself, Berserk, as many people have already made comparisons to, Berserk is definitely an interesting take on Eminem. You have the rock instrumental, of course, produced by Rick Rubin. You have the Beastie Boys feel to it. And the fact that Eminem is trying to basically go back to hip-hop's roots. And I cannot fault him for that. So if you haven't checked his album out already, I highly suggest that. And number 30, Berserk. At number 29, as mentioned before with country and with EDM, certain genres have good points and bad points. Case in point, folk music. I, for one, love folk, or at least the new wave of folk that's been coming out on the radio. The Lumineers, I love them with all my heart. I have a soft spot for Mumford and Sons. But the problem is, a lot of people have brought up that all the songs sound the same because a lot of the instrumentation they use is the same. Heck, there was a point at the end of 2012, going into 2013, where at the same point you had Philip Phillips' Home, Lumineers' Ho Hey, and Imagine Dragons' It's Time. You had 3 different songs at the same time, and you had, or at least I had, multiple people asking me what the difference was in songs. And the fact that it was from 3 different artists, clearly different artists, it really irritated me to no end. With that said, though, let me go back to one of the names and actually reveal my pick. At number 29, it was Philip Phillips with Gone, 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 or Gone times 3 if we're doing the Chris Brown style. His opening single, Home, was cute. It's not my favorite, but it's been in plenty of montages, plenty of commercials, and to me that's a successful single. But Gone times 3 is definitely a more emotional track, and it's him. It was one of the first times I actually listened to him and thought, holy shit, I could listen to this song over and over again and not get bored with it. Because he's basically telling whoever he's singing to, prove to me that you would be willing to do this for me, and even after you leave, I'm going to be doing stuff for you. You're going to leave the impact on me. And that's a subject that a lot of people don't touch on. They touch on if the person leaves, it's going to be hard getting over them. They touch on, oh, well, they left, but they can always come back. But no one ever touches that thin line of, if they leave, they're gone. But you're still doing stuff for them, like it's still out of habit, like it's nothing. And to me, the fact that combined with Philip Phillips' vocals, combined with everything that the instruments bring to the track, it's a great single. And as I've mentioned many times within this video, or within these videos, and probably many times more coming up, the fact that it isn't higher is a crime. However, as we go higher on the list, you're going to see how hard it was really for me to not only make this list, but to place each song specifically at what number. These lists aren't as easy as everyone makes them out to be, because it's out of personal opinion. And to basically say, in my eyes, that one song is better than another, especially when it's 2 different genres such as hip-hop or folk, it really is a tough decision. So I'm sorry for that rant, but let's move on. At number 28, speaking of folk and speaking of EDM, Avicii. You already know what song it is, so I'm not even going to lie. It is Wake Me Up. Lately, this song has been completely overplayed. And the fact that the other song that's being released as a single, Hey Brother, is being well received, but not as well, signifies that Avicii might as well be a one-hit wonder, unless he releases another single with, goodness, I cannot remember the name of the song. I think it's called Long Road to Hell. But I remember hearing the song and at first thinking it was Adele's vocals. But besides the point, back in the song, Avicii was able to combine these two genres and basically mash them into something that's listenable. As I've mentioned before, I love EDM with a passion. In fact, just lately, I've gotten into what's known as trap music and caked up remixes, and quite frankly, it's one of the best things I've discovered in a while, almost up there with dubstep remixes. But to me, listening to this song, the lyrics are so wise. It's not just the chorus. The actual EDM that's mixed into it is something that I see people jumping up and down for at a concert or at a rave or at a club. And the fact that he sneaks in the folk slash country, quote unquote, it's a genuine combination that you don't see a lot of. And it is a shame that Avicii might not get the fame he deserves. But you know what? The fact that this was even a hit to begin with was a pure blessing. And if you haven't checked out True, I suggest doing so as soon as possible, especially if you are a fan of either EDM or folk, because whether you like some of the vocals or not, the production is by far amazing and one of the best I heard in 2013. At number 27, going back to something that I brought up in the first video, the X Factor. Now, 2013 was a very interesting year with the X Factor. I mean, you had Paulina Rubio, or Paulina, and you had Kelly Rowland, who, quite frankly, is the best judge in X Factor history, from US, UK, Australia, however you see it. And trust me, I've been catching up on most of my seasons. But Demi Lovato has a certain quality to her which rises above her other counterparts, such as Selena, or, God help me, such as Miley. And it's an honesty that she's been there before. Forgive my shaky video on this. Just the fact that she's dealt with the bullying, she had to deal with all these problems, and the fact that she actually revealed that she has an alcohol problem, or had an alcohol problem. I don't know what the update is on that. It proves how human she really is. And if you needed any other proof, you would look at her 2013 hit, Heart Attack. I love Demi with a passion. From her early 2009 hit, Here We Go Again, to Give Your Heart a Break, which, quite frankly, as much as she did it justice, Glee did better justice to it. Demi just has a quality to her, and this song proves how much pain can come from a song, how much pain can come from a vocalist. And of course, the production does good too, but it's really her. And when you have a song where you have the singer standing out from the production, is definitely worth noting. As I mentioned before on, give me one second, on Zed featuring Foxes, a lot of times when people try putting electronic elements in their production, it takes away from the singer, but Demi actually overshadows it. And for that, even though she's not returning for X Factor Season 4, if there's an X Factor Season 4, I really hope for the best for her, because everything that she's getting at this point, she deserves. At number 26... Okay. As I mentioned with Eminem, this was an interesting year. Not just for hip-hop, but for pop itself. Because as I mentioned in the first video, pop in general was going the ballad route. Everyone thought that being slow, or, sorry, scratch that thought, that slowing down the tempo and trying to put more emphasis on the lyrics would mean something, when quite frankly it bores people to tears. There's a way to make a dance song, to make it interesting, and to still stand out as a person. Case in point, 26, Applause from Lady Gaga. Now, I will actually say this. Granted, Applause is not the best track on Art Pop. That personally belongs to Swine or Donatella, or even Do What You Want, which, quite frankly, should be getting more airplay than it's supposed to. But B, Applause is actually one of the weaker tracks on Art Pop. And the fact that it's so popular and I consider it one of the weaker tracks proves how much of an artist Lady Gaga is. And I'm not even going by lyrics, which of course, lyrics-wise, she's just proving that she lives for the applause, she lives for the fans. But I'm going at how enjoyable the song is, how catchy the song is, how willing are you to either jump up and dance or start singing along, which Gaga has always been known to write catchy tunes. But this is the best I have heard from her since The Fame Monster. And you're talking to someone who does not like Born This Way. With the exception of the radio edit of Edge of Glory, Born This Way, to me, I can't listen to it except maybe every once in a while. But Applause just brought her back. It brought a certain diva quality back to her. Not talking crazy costumes, not talking like down to earth. We're talking a diva. I just walked on stage and killed it, and what? So that's really all I have to say on that. And if you have not checked out Art Pop, I would highly suggest doing it, especially because Gaga within the last week just released a complete album where it was all Art Pop instrumentals. Quite frankly, I love it. It's not exactly my cup of tea because of the fact that I love Art Pop so much, but it's definitely worth checking out. Speaking of slow ballads, it's kind of ironic that I was trashing them right now, and at number 25 I have one. You see, there's a certain way to do a slow ballad. And it's not the way you phrase the lyrics. It's not a way you sing it, whether you sing it with sadness or you sing it with joy. It's a certain way that you come off. It's a certain way that everything has to be written with the production. And when it came off the right way, it could be a legitimately devastating song, especially at certain points. I never thought I'd be saying this. At number 25, Bruno Mars, When I Was Your Man. Now, granted, with Bruno coming up later on my list, again, Bruno, his last album, Unorthodox Jukebox, was definitely hit or miss. And when I say that, I mean definitely hit or miss. I mean, for the love of God, right now, Young Girls is still charting on the Billboard Top 100, and I completely despise that song with a passion. But as Bruno has proven, there are certain times when he could deliver genuine lyrics. And even though When I Was Your Man starts off as a cheesy song saying, like, I don't know, When I Was Your Man basically starts off by saying, you know what, I could have done this, I could have done that when I was your man, which is a subject we've seen enough. As with Philip Phillips, at the end, he goes into a subject that not a lot of people go into. And he starts saying, I know you're with someone now, so I just wish for the best of you. I hope he does everything that I didn't. And that's something a lot of people refuse to face, is that if they let the one that they love go, a lot of people want to hold them bitter. But in all actuality, Bruno in this song accepts the fact that whoever he's singing to is gone. and just hopes for the best for her, because that's all he can do. And every time I hear that last verse, especially once everything starts slowing down and all the instruments start going away, it goes into a devastating level of sadness. And the fact that we're talking Bruno here, whose quote-unquote saddest song would be up for debate with either Grenade or the one he did for Twilight Breaking Dawn. I can't think of the song right now. God. I can't think of the song right now. But this is actually a devastatingly sad song. And that's all that really could be said. Bruno actually put a song that can express genuine emotion. And of course, like I said, I'll get back to Bruno in another video. But this song is worth it. At number 24, speaking of putting emotions into songs, Maroon 5. It's not the song that everyone thinks it's going to be. Maroon 5 has been an interesting case because everyone wants to call it the Adam Levine show. And granted, I really have to agree with that. I mean, Adam Levine's been one of the main stars on The Voice. Payphone was specifically his vocals. One More Night was just his vocals. And it seemed like Maroon 5, the band itself, faded away. And then they released Daylight, which, quite frankly, is boring. Oh my God, it's not a bad song, it is just boring. And you know what? At that point, I was sick of Maroon 5. I did not want to hear any of their old stuff because that would just remind me of what they used to be. And then all of a sudden, I hear something on the radio. It's their newest single, Love Somebody, at number 24. Yeah, 24. And it mixes everything. It mixes Levine's best vocals. It mixes a certain electronic production. It mixes elements of the band that you haven't heard in a while. And this is the first Maroon 5 song, I want to say, since Misery, that I felt that I could listen to on repeat. In fact, this is my favorite Maroon 5 song of all time. I'm not even going to get that twisted. Payphone was good for what it was. Certain songs from their past, like She Will Be Loved or Sunday Morning, of course they're good. But this is my favorite song by far because all the elements have gotten it right. And if Adam or Maroon 5 in general wants to keep going, this is the way they need to go. Mixing an upbeat electronic mix mixed in with the band's sound to create something new. Because quite frankly, Maroon 5, when they're trying to go slow, they are, like I've mentioned, boring. But this is the first time that he puts real emotion. Now, granted, my only problem with the song is the line, I really want to love somebody. I know we're halfway there, but you take me all the way. Cringeworthy, yes. But I understand where he's coming from. I definitely understand the line. But overall, this song is complete awesomeness. And I highly, especially the video. The video is something that, personally, I haven't seen in a while. And that's really all I could say. And number 23. Ooh, okay. As mentioned with Ollie Murs before, I am a big fan of UK music. From Emily Sandé to Lana Del Rey to Rita Ora to The Script to Ollie Murs to One Direction to Cher Lloyd to Professor Green to Disclosure. I am a huge fan of British music, and whenever anyone crosses over, it is a huge at least to me, a huge step. With that said, it brings me back to one name, Ed Sheeran, with A-Team at number 23. Ed Sheeran is, quite frankly, one of the best, not only musicians, but lyricists in general. And anyone who hasn't checked out his album Plus, Positive, however you want to pronounce it, because it's just a plus sign, needs to. This is what Jason Mraz was back when he first started. And quite frankly, Ed Sheeran touches on a lot of subjects. He touches on a lot of different musical elements as well, such as he actually, technically speaking, raps You Need Me, I Don't Need You. He goes on a slow ballad with not only Show Me Love, but Wake Me Up. Wake Me Up. And he also has a fun side too, a fun sense of humor, such as Drunk. But A-Team is that one song that purposefully comes off as a positive song, and will have you singing along, knowing that these lyrics are dark. That it's about a woman who's struggling to pay rent, who, in order to feed her habit, she needs to go off with a random man just to even have one more high, just to have that one feeling that nothing's going to go wrong. And possibly a life that has gone wrong in so many different directions. And that's something that most of us can relate to. And the fact that it's disguised as in such a way that radios willingly played it, in a way, it's the 2013 answer to Pumped Up Kicks. Well, think about it. Ed Sheeran basically came out of nowhere, at least on our ends, for the general public. He releases a song that is quite negative in some ways, and yet comes off as positive to the point where a lot of people are not only singing it, but basically know him for that one hit. And even though after that he really hasn't done much, at least on the hit sense, he still has his following. And granted, I really wish Lego House would have been a hit over here. It attempted radio airplay, but it flopped, which is a damn shame, because Lego House, the video, the song, everything adds up. And to me, Lego House is better than A-Team. But I really hope for the best from Ed, because sometimes the world needs to see a little darkness to see a little light. Coming in at number 22, almost closing out this video. Once again, we bring up EDM, and once again, we bring up Calvin Harris. And quite possibly, actually no, not even quite possibly, and what is his best production work to date. And I'm talking even better than his production with Rihanna's We Found Love. He teams up with Ellie Goulding for I Need Your Love. And it is just like Zed and Foxes with Clarity. It is a song where you hear the anticipation in Ellie's voice. You hear the electronica blaring through the speakers. You hear the bass. You want to jump, and yet you're listening and you're singing along to the song. And the parts where it slows down, it properly slows down. The parts where it speeds up, it properly speeds up. It does what an electronic song is supposed to do best, and that is get you invested in not only the production, but in the singer. And what it does in a superior way over Clarity is a basic song that you could listen to, where you get lost deep in your thoughts. Really, how are you my clarity? But I need your love. It's basically, I don't want to say it's a positive song because it's far from that. It's a woman saying, I need you. Everything's wrong and you make it right. But something about the song is just so right, and I have to sincerely thank Calvin Harris's production on that, because Ellie Goulding has proved two things: that she can do music on her own with as she's proven with Lights and Anything Could Happen. But lately she also has proven that there are times where she could be annoying as all hell, such as, quite frankly, Burn. And for those who want to bring backlash at me, I say bring it on. Because to me, Burn, it's one of the laziest, uninspired ways to bring up fire in a song since Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire. I'm just laying it out there. But I love Ellie. As I mentioned, I have a soft spot for UK artists. And Ellie Goulding is one of the best that has come across the seas to cross over here. But as I've mentioned with this song, I really cannot give enough credit to Calvin Harris. And even though sometimes his production work can seem a bit gritty, or grating, such as when he did Let's Go with Neo, Calvin is one of the few DJs that I would love to go to a full set for, because he knows what he's doing. Now, excuse me, just getting comfy. Before we go to number 21, I have to bring up something. And it actually involves number 21. Originally, it was controversial because not only did I not like the song, but the fact that the song touched a nerve on me, and I just could not stand the song. And this is even before it was played on the radio. This is to the point where when I was listening to the full album, I did not want to listen to the song. But the more I listened to it, and the more I knew the backstory for it, and the more I knew about the artist who actually did this song, it makes me respect this song a hell of a lot more. Now, quite frankly, I'm actually, there's not really much to say. And number 21, Macklemore, Ryan Lewis, Mary Wells, Same Love. Now, this is where the subject really gets, I guess you could say, controversial. Note the air quotes. Being an openly gay rapper has brought a lot of criticism towards me. And to me, my main nitpick at the song was, well, first off, I remember my opening thoughts being, he's not rapping over the beat, he's talking over the beat. But I also remember thinking, Ryan Lewis has made such an amazing beat for this song, and yet we have no one talking. We have someone talking as an outsider. And to me, that I lost respect for the song instantly, because of the fact that a song like this should be done, not saying from someone like me, but in a way from someone like me who has actually gone through the struggles. Like, for perfect example, Macklemore has a song out called Under the Bridge Remix. I know that's not the exact name of it, but he brings up how when he was my age, he was addicted to basically the purple drink, to cough syrup, and how even every time he would get high, he would just feel on top, and yet he wasn't getting anything musically done. And how he thought that, heck, I'll even bring up the line, because I was in the same shoes, how back in high school we praised ourselves not wanting to get high. but we never actually know until we're right there in the situation. That's Macklemore talking straight from the heart. But to me, back to Same Love, I couldn't buy it. And then when I actually heard the story about him and his uncles, or uncle, I just started liking the guy more. Now, granted, I already love the guy as a rapper, and for anyone who has not checked out The Heist, drop what you're doing and pick it up. Don't even download it, buy it. This man deserves everything. The thing is, this song deserves much more than it's been getting. And quite frankly, yes, as much as everyone brings it up, I hate the overplay. And I hate the fact that a lot of people think that just because there's one rap song about it, all of a sudden everything's okay. No, not everything's okay. But as Macklemore said in the song, it's a damn good place to start. And quite frankly, I couldn't ask for anything better than that, and I have to appreciate it. So with that said, that wraps up my list from 30 to 21. I still have 2 more videos left, from 20 to 11, and from 10 to 1. And if neither of these first 2 videos brought any sort of controversy or backlash towards me, I can guarantee you, going up from 20 to 1, there's going to be a lot of people hating me. There's going to be, why wasn't this in the top 10? Why wasn't this in the top 5? Why was this song above that song? Why was this song even mentioned? But as I mentioned before, this list is just out of personal pleasure, out of, could I really sit there and listen to this song? And how much credit I'm really willing to give a song, even if it's from a person I hate. So, like, for example, Chris Brown and Justin Bieber. 2 completely despised people, yet I love their music. Yes, I admit it right here, folks. I'm a Chris Brown fan, and I'm a Justin Bieber fan. Now, granted, I hate Beliebers, and I hate Team Breezy. But I love the music. Heck, favorite Chris Brown album has to go to Fame, Forgiving All My Enemies, even though the title itself is pretentious. And heck, with Justin Bieber, to me, there's only 2 albums that's worth it, which is the My World series and his last album, Believe. But as I mentioned in most of my reviews, or starting to, because I'm starting to review, music is only as good as you make it. But if you have any sort of comments towards me, please, by all means, message me any way you can. Make a comment below on YouTube, and I will get back to you, because music's a topic that I feel serious about. So until then, as I mentioned right now, music's only as good as you want it to be. And I'll see you with another video as soon as possible. Deuces, y'all.